And now we're recording. Okay, we should be live.
All right.
I
So
see we've got 5 attendees logging in at the moment.
a couple more people come in. Welcome, everybody.
Right. Should be good to take us away, Patrick.
Awesome. All righty. So welcome, everybody. Patrick J. Lair here, introducing the Teammade Real Estate Academy. And who are we? We are the largest and only free real estate investment club here in Winnipeg. And we're a group of like-minded individuals we have coaches here, other investors, contractors, electricians, tradespeople, and just regular folk that want to get into real estate. We have investors of all types, full of service providers in our group, and we're just a group of people that want to learn real estate, but with the help of experts in our local market here in Winnipeg. And the Teammade Real Estate Academy, we have over 150 students and our companies involved nationwide. So we're not just here in Manitoba, but we do also work and have investors all over the country and with US partners and coaches as well. So we do hold free monthly events, and with the craziness that's been happening the past 2 years, we've had to adapt, and that's why we're doing these Zoom meetings now, but we did used to meet in person, and I'm looking forward to when we can do that again. We do hold our workshops on various strategies and aspects of the real estate investment business. We have done bus tours in the past where we've taken students and other investors to take a look at different deals that we have in the city. And Teammade Real Estate is really a place where you can find your own power team. This means you can get access to the lawyers in the group, the accountants, and all the other tradespeople in there. And it's a great place to get your joint ventures and build those relationships. It's a great place for networking with other like-minded individuals, and also finding money, raising capital, and also, of course, finding deals. So our academy is essentially a post-secondary education program. So it's like a bachelor's, master's, or a PhD if you decide to take our platinum program, where we do guarantee that you will get your first deal done with us as long as you do continue working with us. It's not a catch and release, so it's not like we'll just coach you and then once you're done, it's hands off, that's it. We do continue to work with you through one-on-one mentorship, and there's no annual fee. So you just pay your fee once and then you get your coaching like that. The great part with Teammade Real Estate is we do offer in-field training because yes, knowing the theory of real estate and this business is important, but it is that field training that does help a lot. We do also offer video and audio trainings that you will have access to. And of course, the greatest part is you're part of the Teammade Real Estate family. So if you're trying to do this business alone, it's pretty difficult, especially when you run into those obstacles. But if you have family, you have people that are on your side helping you, it's a great place to learn. So this is our brochure that you can kind of take a look at. And we do suggest that you book some strategy sessions if you're ever interested in with any of the other coaches. And this is where you can kind of learn buy, fix, and sell, just your rehabs, regular buy and hold. One of our favorites is the BRRRR strategy, which is the buy, fix, refinance, and rent, or even rent to owns and negotiation, and of course, joint ventures. So why do we offer the deal done assurance? Well, the reason we offer this is so that you can have a high confidence, not only in education, but at the end in yourself. So by coaching with Teammade Real Estate, you will have access to a lot of coaches, which will be your advisors. You'll get all the theoretical knowledge and how to apply this in the real world. This will allow you to get the experience, getting your first deal done. Maybe it's a couple wholesales you're doing in there. And as you're doing this, as you're getting the experience, you're going to build confidence. And this is what's going to build momentum, which you will see some of our students really use that momentum this past year. And it is a lifetime membership. So again, you do have access to our Telegram and Facebook group. This is where you kind of chat with all the other members in Teammate Real Estate, really get that support you need. Now, you might be thinking, but I can't do that. Well, this is where we come into play a little bit, where our coaches will help you understand that your words really limit your ability to succeed. And then your thoughts will limit your ability to succeed. Then your emotions as well. And then finally, your relationships will limit those abilities. Instead, what we want you to kind of envision is to design your own lifestyle, to become the creator of the future that you see and build that lifestyle that you want. Now, we want to speak to the eventuality of that lifestyle that you will design. So it means you want to speak and really try to turn your vision into a reality, essentially. And this will give you the confidence to be able to design the lifestyle that you really want to achieve. And then, of course, make that lifestyle happen. Now, so there's a little bit of intro of me and why I invest. For me, the main reason I invested and continue to invest is because of my family. So I have my mom and dad there in the corner, and then my beautiful girlfriend there that's pretending to choke me while I'm was competing at my jiu-jitsu tournament. And family is really important because, well, my parents are immigrants and they came here without knowing much about finances. My mom was an accountant, but she really just knew how to budget, not necessarily how to invest and multiply money. This is where I kind of got motivated to figure out the game of money and to understand how I can use money as a tool to first, it was just to help my parents retire. And then now it's really to help me build the life that I want with my girlfriend and eventually, hopefully, become my wife. And another passion of mine is writing and philosophy. However, you may have run into a couple people that essentially say you can't make money on philosophy. And for them, I say they're kind of right, which is why I do use real estate and my businesses to kind of help support my passion of writing, because I don't really expect to make a profit from writing, with philosophy anyway. It's not really the niche that everyone is excited to throw money at, but real estate does help me kind of eliminate the money aspect of writing philosophy. I've also written a book called How to Never Be Broke Again, because I'm very passionate about financial literacy. And I do believe that one of the crises that exist in our society now is a lack of financial literacy. And when I wrote this book, I was yet to become a real estate investor. I had done other investments before that. But I really wanted to understand real estate investing, just so it gives me that credibility of, okay, yes, I've understood the financial literacy aspect, but I can also take action and understand the real estate aspect. And there I have a final picture there of me out in Switzerland, where I did a little bit of traveling in Europe. And again, it's just one of my passions. You can't really travel if you don't have money. So this is exactly why I use real estate as a vehicle and almost as a tool so I can do the things that I love, which is one of them is traveling. A little shout out for our sponsors here, because none of this is possible without our sponsors. So we got Daryl Walsh from Royal LePage, which you'll hear from very shortly. We also have Brendan Mahatu from Levine Tadman Glove Law Corp. We have Jastiani from Chambers Fraser Charles Accountants. We also got Ray Penner from Ray Penner Photography. We have Christian Narcisco from Usual Media. We also have Garrett Wong from Upper Edge Property Management, and you'll also be hearing from him shortly as well. We have Alvin Abali from Caesar Stone Canada and Dulux Paints by PPG. And then last but not least, the final sponsor, which is Michael Reimer and Corey Flaming from Vulcan Construction. All right, so we do love to celebrate our student success stories. So we have a couple here that we'd like to congratulate. So congratulations to Tony and Lois for finishing another live-in flip, and they made $120,000 in appreciation and mortgage pay down. That's all tax-free money. So that's pretty awesome. Congratulations, Tony and Lois. Next, we have Ryan and Jenny Penner. So they're last month's investors of the month, and they just rented out this place for $1,550. It's a great home in the West End, and they almost got 100 responses on their first day of advertising. So anyone there that thinks it's not the time to get into real estate, well, Ryan and Jenny are just showing you that it probably is a great time to get in real estate because they did a successful BRRRR deal. Next, we have Kevin and Heather. They actually did 2 deals in 1 month. It's pretty awesome. And they got a coveted side-by-side duplex here. So that property looks pretty awesome. Congratulations, Kevin and Heather. And our investors of the month are going to be Justin and Jeremy, and they actually got 14 doors in 1 year using none of their own money. So that is awesome. That's more than 1 deal a month. And yeah, that is a sweet year for Justin and Jeremy. Congratulations on you two for all your hard work.
And I just want to throw in a special shout out to Justin and Jeremy because 8 of those 14 doors that they acquired were mine.
Nice.
So doing deals here within the club. So not only did they do 14 deals in 1 year, but they actually did 8 within technically what would be called a span of 2 weeks, because they bought 1 fourplex on June 1st and 1 fourplex on June 15th. So awesome job, guys. And it's been a pleasure working with them. And I'm holding a vendor take back mortgage on one of the properties to help them out as well. So we're going to be partners for years to come.
Awesome.
So deals within the team.
And next, I'm going to pass it off to our realtor extraordinaire, Daryl Walsh, for our June realtor report.
Yes. Well, actually, it's being passed right back to me. Daryl is in the process of dealing with 2 offers that are both in play tonight, and he's extremely busy. One of them is actually for one of our students as well, Brian. So he asked me if I could just take care of the realtor report for him tonight. So let's see, gotta click on the slide. So it's summertime. Daryl wants to do some fishing with his Thug Life t-shirt on. I love that. There's always great stuff there. So first slide here, we want to remember that all markets within Winnipeg are local. In fact, all real estate is local. But here's some of the regions within, and you can see the average home price in the surrounding areas. So the best home price is there in the Southwest, but even in the lowest priced area, the West, we're still above 300,000. And you'll later see also the breakdowns and how that lays out from home type as well. So average price of year over year. So since last year, so since 2020, we've seen a 16.7% increase in the average home price. Average home size is just under 1,400 square feet. And we've seen a bump up of 7.1% in new listings over last year. Of course, last year with the shortage of supply due to the COVID, and our sales are up 55% over last year. Wow, that's just incredible. Now, it does also indicate that sales were down a lot last year with the lack of supply, but now that things are opening up, everybody is out there buying, and they want to buy houses because, of course, more people are working from home, spending more time at home. They want more space. So looking at our residential attached. So for May of 2021, now attached homes, these would be considered like a townhouse where you're sharing a common wall with somebody. And their average square footage is down a little bit. It's mid 12s as opposed to the average home overall, which is almost 1,400. And you can see these are already bumping up against nearly $300,000 for a townhouse. And year to date, in fact, the price has actually been over that, and the square footage was actually a little bit higher. So it just means that the average townhouse was selling a little bit lower because the square footage was a little bit lower just in the month of May. So condo sales, again, those of you who have been around for a while can remember that condo sales were always a little bit in the sluggish area, just due to the fact that there was an awful lot of housing inventory in the condo segment of the marketplace. Now condos, they're all the way up over 250 for the month of May. And in our year to date, we can see that that's even cranking up a little bit. So as I bounce back and forth there, you can see that we've had a gain of, what's that? $12,000 over the year to date. And yet the average square footage is almost identical. So that means that condos are getting to be a really strong segment of the market as well. And then within our residential attached, so it's showing the duplexes, townhouses, and single attached. And I won't go through and read all those numbers, but you can check them out there. That you can see that the unit sales of duplexes and townhouses are exploding. Prices are also jumping up double digits for townhouses and duplexes. And the average price is also cranking up to the 300,000 plus range. Finally, the big part of the segment, our residential detached, the single family home. The single family home in Winnipeg is now inching closer to the $400,000 mark. Just a year ago, we were getting shocked as it was pushing up against the $300,000 mark. So that's just incredible. The average square footage, you can see there, just under 1,400 square feet. And again, from our year to date, meaning where we were in 2021 to now, we've seen an increase there of $10,000. So same the square footage is negligible. It's within 8 square feet. So it's just incredible there what's happening in the single family market. So here's some sales comparisons year to date. And again, I won't read through all of it, but you can just see some of the very, very strong increases. Good grief, vacant land, over 150% increase since from 2020 to 2021. Just remarkable the way that the market is growing by leaps and bounds right now. So that's sort of bringing us to the end there. Daryl's got his payday, his Thug Life t-shirt, relaxing under the flowers there. So yes, thank you on behalf of Daryl Walsh at Royal LePage Prime Real Estate. And now we'll go over to our property management sponsor, Garrett Wong, with the property management update and his continuing series on real estate investing.
Hi everyone, we spoke last week about appreciation. Now, how does real estate appreciate? How do you know what your real estate is truly worth? The answer lies in something, more definitions. We're going to be unpacking market value versus market price, two very different but important definitions. So market value is the price at which a particular house in its current condition will sell within 30 to 90 days, approximately, or what an appraiser or an appraisal might suggest the market value is. Market price, in comparison, is the actual price that something sold, or historically what someone is willing to pay for it because they actually paid that money for it. So to recap, market value is the estimated value. Market price is the actual price which a rental property has sold for. So which one do you use? Well, in theory, you might want to use both. You might want to know how much the property is worth during refinancing, so you need to know the market value. Or you might need to liquidate your assets and pull your money out completely, so market price is more important. In the context of appreciation, well, appreciation, if you recall, is the value that real estate increases year after year. Therefore, if you're wanting to know the value of your portfolio and the profit you have made, i.e. your equity, you have an appraiser go out and put a value to the property. And that'll do it. So we've discussed what your property is worth and how it appreciates. The next thing we're going to cover is principal reduction and what that means for your equity. Want to be notified when the next segment is going to be released? Well, just hit that like button and subscribe to the video, and then you're going to be notified. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you to Garrett Wong, our property management expert. Now we pop into a little segment that we started back in January of 2021 with all of our time to sit back and think. We're going to do a mindset minute. I'd just like to remind everyone, take a second to stop, get off that hamster wheel, look around themselves, and take stock of their lives. Remember that right now, what you're doing today, you're giving up part of your life to do. So make it count. To have a successful life, one needs to just have a series of successful days. So it's not necessarily the number of actions that you do in a day, but the efficiency of each. Did you get a chance, Nelson, to hug each one of your boys today? I bet you did, But we'll want to start by taking stock of what has to be done in a day. Make a list of 6 things. Put them in priority order, and then focus on doing number 1 to completion before moving on to the next thing. Now, when you do a lifestyle by design, that might mean prioritizing your family on most occasions. And then sometimes just doing something to support that family. So making that decision right away, the priority in your life is going to be your wife and your children, your spouse and your kids. It will remove the doubt, the fear, and the worry and bring an order to your life. And in doing so, you're going to benefit from the law of cause and effect. Thus, your success will in fact be guaranteed. And we have a short video from one of my coaches, Bob Proctor.
You see, we are created in a magnificent vibration, in an absolutely magnificent vibration, born risk takers, free. That conditioning takes place after birth. You can change it. It takes guts. It takes goals. How do you know something? You're sitting there watching this and you're thinking, by God, I'm going to change something. I always say, keep reminding yourself that you have tremendous reservoirs of potential within you, and therefore you are quite capable of doing anything you set your mind to. You really can. I don't care what the cynics tell you. Quit listening to some of your peers. Now, all you must do is figure out how you can do it, not whether you can or not. When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? You've got to create a sense of urgency. I'm going to do it right now.
If you can see it, you can do it. But the beautiful truth is you can do anything. We got to know there is a place. There is a specific frequency. And if you get on that frequency, you're going to attract what you need to you. This is what it's all about. Why have you been endowed with such awesome powers? If you'll make a committed decision, this I'm going to do. And you don't have to know how. You do not have to know how. The second you make the committed decision, you flip your brain onto the frequency that you have to be on to attract what you have to attract to manifest the thing that you want. If you can see it, you can do it. It's got to be something you want. Wants come from inside. Act like you're already there. Walk, talk, speak, live like you're already there. Don't set a small goal. Don't set something that doesn't really wind your stem. Set it so big it jazzes you. It really gets you going. When something of a very high nature resonates with the very high side of you, you'll know it. You'll know it. You will feel it. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. The only prerequisite, do you want it? Not do you need it, not could you do it. The only prerequisite is, do you want it? Take the lid off your marvelous mind and dream. For goodness sake, give yourself the right to do that. Get your analytical mind out of the way. Put it in your pocket for a while. All you're doing is exploring, daydreaming. What did Lawrence say? All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their mind waken the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dream with open eyes to make it possible. This I did. I hope you enjoyed this video.
And I know that our speaker tonight, Nelson Camp, has done the same thing. So just a quick shout out to Brendan Mahatu, setting up joint ventures and legal agreements. And there's his contact information. And now I'm going to get Nelson to share his screen, and he will tell us all about his lifestyle by design and how we can achieve that too. Are you able to share there, Nelson?
You bet.
Perfect.
All right, here we go. You guys hear me okay? Great. Hey, Keith, that was a great video. And I love Bob Proctor. I always have. He's always got a message that just resonates with me. I'd love to see the guy in live. I never have. You seen him, Keith?
I have not. I've not seen him live. No, I want to, though, before he retires.
He's great. And a lot of the message that he shared today falls into this new book that I wrote called Lifestyle by Design. You know, this book, there's a lot of things in the last year that have been difficult for a lot of people, and me, it's been no exception at all. But something that did come out of this last year that was really important to me was to finish this book and to kind of share it with the world. So you guys are the first ones that get to hear about this book. It's not even released yet. It's just in the pre-release. The final stages are being prepared of it now. I have had the good fortune of seeing a copy. I do have a copy of it, several copies as a matter of fact, but I wanted to make sure that I shared it with you guys first before anybody else got to hear about the book. So I'm really honored to be here with you guys tonight. So thankful that you guys took the time to be here tonight. Keith, you did a great job as you always do tonight with the tech, getting everything organized. Pat, you're doing an awesome job as an MC. Thanks so much, everybody, for the time that's been put into this, for all our sponsors, because, you know, it's all of us coming together as a team that makes this event possible for everybody. And we put this event on to help you, those that came tonight, the participants, those that want to learn about real estate, that want to learn about lifestyle by design. That's why we do these events, is to help inspire you, give you ideas, witty ideas, and to grow. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the book. That's my book that's come out. This is my 4th published book, and really looking forward to seeing a lot of people impacted by this one. I wrote this book in 2 segments. If anybody's interested in, you know, wondering what the process is for an author, my process is really just writing down the skeleton as things come to me. I've always got notes. I've already got new books in my phone. And whenever a new thought process comes to me about a book, I put it in there. And then what I do is what's called a writer's retreat. And I'll go away for a week, usually somewhere tropical. And I'll just spend a week working, usually about 16 hours a day. I'll work 12 to 16 hours a day writing. And I love it, you know, and I set my goal, just like Bob was talking about. I'm writing 5,000 words today. It's not 4,000. It can be 6,000, but 5,000 is my minimum goal of words that I'm writing today. And if somebody's wondering, well, how many pages is that? It's about 20 pages, right? So I set my goal, and there's no turning back when I do that. That's how many words I'm writing today. And so that's how I wrote the book in 2 segments, 2 one-week segments. The bulk of the book was written in those 2 periods. And then the editing, going through it, putting in stories of real people. This book is not only a guidebook, but it's also got practical examples of real people's success in real estate and in other business, and how they've created the lifestyle that they wanted to design. So just before I get into the book a little bit, those that don't know who I am, my name is Nelson Camp. I'm an author. I've written 4 different books. The titles are there. I've won many awards in real estate and in investment. But the most important to me is to really see the people I work with succeed, the awards they win, and the accolades that they receive, like the student success stories that we saw today. Nothing makes me happier than to see people succeed. I was a teacher for 20 years and retired from an awesome career in education that I really enjoyed. And then when I was done with that, I wanted to keep teaching. And so I still have an opportunity to teach. These are my 3 children and my beautiful wife, Love spending time with them, teaching them. This year's maybe been a little too much time, but I really do enjoy spending time with my family. There's nothing more important to me than them and how we operate together as a team. I don't know if anybody here has ever read Canadian Real Estate Wealth. It's a great magazine. It is written for real estate investors in Canada. It's a Canadian magazine. So I really encourage you to pick it up. These magazines only exist when people buy them and subscribe to get them. So it's a great magazine. I've been featured in there about a dozen times and really enjoy the magazine. And, you know, here's one of my books. If ever you've never had an opportunity to pick it up, it's called Money Tree, How Anyone Can Become a Millionaire in 5 years through real estate. It took me 6 years, but because it took me 6 years, I was able to write the book to figure out how to do it in 5 years. So that's in that book if you want to learn a little bit more about that journey and unpacking the roadmap of how to do that. Also a book called Broke to Success that I wrote with some successful business owners here, local business owners from Manitoba. We got together and said, hey, let's bring our A game and put it all together to help people succeed. So I've got some exciting news for you about that book a little bit later, and I'll be talking about that. But here are some of the sections of the book that I wrote, including collecting rent as a real estate investor. That's just for beginners, and that's only a small piece of the pie. How to spot a tree inside of a forest, which is not always easy to do. The 10% tweak. And in life, you know, I've always said, if you don't plant anything, don't expect to see anything grow. And that's a really important part because we're all planting something in life, and whatever it is, we'll sow. Whatever we sow, we will end up reaping. And also there's a portion in there, so a real creative part on how to write offers. So if you want to learn a little bit more about that, that might be a book that you'd be interested in, and some excellent content from some of my colleagues that also wrote the book with me. And this one here that many of you wanted to hear about tonight, Lifestyle by Design. Really, it's a book, and I want to make sure that everybody understands it's a book about whole wealth. This isn't a book that's strictly about financial success, although financial success is, in my opinion, a really important part of having a fulfilling life. But the freedom that comes and having the wealth of freedom, the wealth of finance, the wealth of health, the wealth of time, and the wealth of happiness. And that's really what this book unpacks, because a lot of people get caught up in life thinking that wealth is all about money. And folks, you know what? Money is a really empty thing if you don't have a lot of other things in life that bring wealth. And that's why I put this book together, so that people could live a balanced lifestyle, recognizing the importance of all of these different elements in life. Before I go any further about the book, though, I wanted to give honor to the author of the foreword of my book, Brandon Turner. Some of you may have heard of him. He's a good friend and mentor of mine, and he's been investing in real estate for a significant period of time now, I guess almost 20 years. And he's also the host of the most listened to podcast on real estate in the world, called the Bigger Pockets Podcast. So if you are into podcasts, I strongly encourage you to listen to it. A lot of the content is US content. But there's still some great nuggets to be had there. I believe that learners are the earners, and I really do. You know, there's lots of opportunity to learn in life, whether you're listening or reading, studying, researching, and listening to podcasts is another way to do it. So he's just an outstanding individual. We connect on so many different types of levels. In my book, Lifestyle by Design, I talk about the 5 F words in life. And don't worry, guys, this is PG. The first one is faith. And Brandon and I connect very closely in having a similar faith. The second one is your fitness. Him and I both have very equal values in terms of fitness and the importance of health. By the way, everybody have at least one salad today? I hope so. I sure did. Your protein shake, a workout. Good. You know what? It's a choice, guys. Every day you choose what you're going to put in your body. Every day you choose if you want to work out or not. And for me, it's just non-negotiable. I work out 4 times a week. It's not a question if I want to or not. That part doesn't even go through the filter. This is what I'm doing. Patrick's just coming off a 75 hard. I haven't even attempted one of those yet, but if you want to learn more about really challenging yourself in a physical way, talk to Patrick about the 75 hard. He's lived through it and phase 1, I think. So that's a real challenge. But once again, he has no backing out. There is no option not to. Once you make a commitment, you just do it. So Brandon Turner, just to get back to him, is an outstanding individual. We connect in terms of family as well. That's a 3rd F in life. We connect in terms of finance and creating passive income. And finally, fun, right? That's the 5th F in life. And I keep them in that order in my life, or at least I try to every day as much as possible, starting with faith, working into fitness. If you don't have your fitness, you haven't got much else in life, right? You want to be healthy. Your family, you got to have finances to survive, and you need to make sure you have fun in life and enjoy life. That's why life is here, is to be enjoyed. So, you know, I often get asked, Nelson, why did you write this book? Well, part of it is I wanted to leave some breadcrumbs for my kids one day. I think it's important to kind of give them an idea of, hey, how did dad design things? I figure I've got at least another 50 to 60 years on this planet, but I want to make sure I leave a blueprint for them and for everybody else that wants to pick up about some of it. And, you know, it's a way of really designing. So many people wish they could live a little bit different, but don't know where to start taking action on doing that. And this book is part of that, right? It's also part of how you can free yourself of a lot of baggage that we pick up in life, things that happen. You know, there's an entire chapter on how to say no, and saying no in a classy way that brings value to the individual that's hearing no. And it's an art and a science knowing how to do that. So, you know, we pick up a lot of baggage. Sometimes it's relationships, sometimes it's bad health choices, it's bad habits. And, you know, these things are all heavy and weigh on us in terms of baggage. So the book will encourage you in every area of your life that you're ready to change, just like Bob talked about in his video. And, you know, optimal life is a new kind of concept that people are starting to realize. Am I living an optimal life right now? Am I living the life that I really want to live? And if not, what is missing and how can I get there? And I'm certainly not here to tell you what your optimal life is about. That's up to you to decide. I'm here to help you get it, whatever it is that you want. And that's why this book was written, is to help you attain that. And how to choose, you know, your priorities in life and learning the power of multiple streams of income. A lot of people figure, you know, I've got my job, I make my $45,000 a year at my job, and that's it. Well, I mean, that's an important part and a great stream of income at your job, but there's a lot more opportunity in the world that's all around us. And if you stop and take some time to think about it and explore it, hopefully this book can help you discover lots of other ways to be able to create the lifestyle that you want. So, you know, everybody kind of has different days, and, you know, we have good and bad, me included, everybody else. And you know what? I wrote this book for you and for anybody else who's here tonight who wants to learn a little bit more about lifestyle by design. It's for people that want a map, you know, help me draw a map. I know what I want in life, but I really don't know the steps to get there. It's for people that want to learn a little bit more about entrepreneurship. That's something that's a big hole in schools. When I was a teacher, there was no course or teaching anybody about what entrepreneurship was. I didn't even know what that word meant till I think I was in my 20s. I'd never even heard it, I don't think. So when I was a teacher, I actually designed a course in entrepreneurship, approached my principal and said, hey, why are these students graduating without knowing even what a business owner is and the importance of starting businesses in our community? Small businesses account for probably 70% of our economy, right? They're so important, yet we're not teaching people about the importance about business. So this book really unpacks in simple forms what is entrepreneurship and how to get involved in entrepreneurship. You know, it's a book for people that really want to be authors of their own life. They feel maybe things have been happening around them and they're not in control anymore. If you've ever found yourself saying, well, I don't have a choice, or, you know, I haven't got time, or, you know, all of these things are taking place. And, you know, I fall into that just like anybody else does sometimes. Usually it has to do with my kids and responsibilities with them, but that's a choice as well, right? Having children and enjoying the joy of having these kids was a choice I made, and I rejoice in that. And I want to help people learn to have a rounded life. A lot of people get their life out of balance, and there is a time and a place to be out of balance in life so that you can later get back into balance. And I think that's a really important quote that's also in my book, and the importance of understanding that. So what this book is really, it's a guide to help people make changes. If you want to look at a retirement plan, this is something that can help you retire sooner than you might have had a plan for later in life. In 20 years, why not? Who said you have to work until you're 55 or 60? I don't think there's any written rule that needs to be happen. I retired at 39. I just decided the timing was right. And if you ever want to hear that story, I'd be very happy to tell you a little bit more about how I knew that time was right. If you read this book, Lifestyle by Design, it will help you figure out what is your number to know that you are financially independent? What is that number that you need in your life to know that whether you work a job or don't work a job, you're going to wake up tomorrow and have the same breakfast. You're going to wake up tomorrow and live the same kind of life, except you're going to have all your time back. 2,000 hours a year, plus your commuting time. And for some people, commuting can be a couple hours a day, every day. I think that was my favorite part of retiring from a job is I didn't ever have, I don't think I ever drive in rush hour anymore because I just don't have to. And you know, it's an important part of our lives that we consider just taking the time to go to a job. Many people, it's funny, you know, they'll take a job so they can pay for a house that stays empty all day, so they can pay for the car that they drive to get to work and drive to get home and be tired to make supper, to go to sleep and do it again. And I'm not saying a job is a bad thing. I worked one for many years and really enjoyed it. But when I started looking at my whole life, I realized that there was other opportunities to create the wealth and the finance without having to work the job. And it's kind of disconnecting yourself from a path we sort of are put on as young people. This is the path we're kind of put on. And as we think about it differently, we realize there is a different opportunity out there. So the book is really broken up into ways, and you can see the icons there. It's part of the logo, right? The freedom is what we want everybody to see in their life, whatever freedom they want. And we're going to unpack each of these very quickly. Financial wealth, health, time, and happiness. So the first one is freedom. And in the book, really, I define freedom as you're making a choice, right? You are not the victim or the prisoner to something as much as you're choosing, okay, well, where do I want to spend my money? And some people get to the end of a month, they've paid all their bills and they feel like I haven't really chosen to spend any of my money yet. All my money has been gone to obligation, has been already allocated to obligations. And we'll always have obligations in life. I own my home, but guess what? I still pay every month, even though I own my home. I pay taxes and lots of taxes, right? So you'll always have obligations, and that's not what the book is about. But it is about making choices with your time and having the ability to choose what you do when you wake up. What would your ideal life look like every day when you woke up? You got to wake up. What are you going to have for breakfast? What are you going to read? What are you going to do in your routine in the morning if you didn't have certain obligations that you feel are drawing to you each and every day? And where do you choose to spend your energy? Really, guys, these are the only three currencies we have in life: our money, our time, and our energy. We don't have anything else to spend. That's it. So freedom is really being able to choose what you do and where you spend those resources. A big part of the book is the finance part, right? And the wealth side. So, a lot of the book focuses on the passive side of income. And for those that aren't familiar with what passive income is, that's income that comes in regardless of what you're doing. Whether I'm here with you right now, money is coming in. If I'm playing video games with my kids, money is going in. Whether you're biking for 30, 40 kilometers each day, money is coming in. It's the passive side of income where you don't work for the money. That's passive. Active is the other side where you're working for the money. And we're going to talk about that too. The book has a very important part about active income as well. It's about teaching people how you can make $100 an hour to $500 an hour or more instead of the $25 an hour that maybe your boss has decided your time is worth. It's really helping you decide, how much is my time worth per hour? And what would I like to be earning? And what could I be earning with that time? So that's an important part of the book. And we're going to look at some examples really quick tonight, a quick practical example a little bit later about how that would work. So the power of passive income, the power of unlimited streams of income. And we talked about this a little bit earlier about how you can have a job, but you can have other forms of income in your life as well. There's no rule that says you can just have your income from your job. And finally, the power of helping others. And when we see some people that have already implemented Lifestyle by Design in their life, you're going to see how their success often hinges on helping other people have success. That's why we're having this event for you guys tonight, is to help you in your success. That's why we're here. Health, I think that goes without saying. Your physical health, your mental health, and your emotional health. More and more people are recognizing that all three of those are connected and how important they really are. And finally, in my opinion, the most valuable of wealths that we have in our life is really our time, because that's a non-renewable resource, friends. As soon as your time is spent, it's a one-time deal. It's spent. You can't get it back. You can't multiply that time. You can outsource things and have help in doing things, but really your time that belongs to you is yours and yours only. So, you know, it comes back to that model of what do you want your time to look like? If you were to look ahead 10 years from now, and I'm going to give you the blueprint later if you want it about how to plan all of this, what would your life look like in 5 years from now or 10 years from now? Like, what would it smell like? What would it feel like? What would you be doing all day, every day if you had the freedom to choose? The book takes you through that process. And just like Bob said, you know, get to a place where you know that that's what you're drawing towards you in life. You speak it into existence. You plan your life accordingly to get you to that destination. And happiness, of course, happiness, we know that happiness comes from happenings in life. It's not the joy that's deep within us. You know, I wake up in the morning, joy inside of me, regardless of whether it's the right side or the wrong side of the bed I get up on. That's not going to change anything. I'll get up on whatever side, but happiness comes from happenings in life. And we get to choose that through our relationships, right? What are the things in life that bring us the greatest joy? And taking some time to take inventory of that and be intentional with creating those opportunities and those circumstances that help bring that happiness and that joy. One thing that's always been important to me is life equity. And a lot of people lose sight of really what is life equity, right? And life equity is everything you're building into and growing in your life, not just financially, but in terms of your whole life. So if you want to see those equity gains in life, you have to make sure that you're plugging that equity into your life and creating opportunities for it. So for our family, a little bit like Patrick talked about earlier, our greatest memories, my wife and I have often talked about it, is when we're doing adventures as a family and traveling this beautiful earth, when we're going to visit different places. That's part of our life equity. Creating relationships and memories with the family is a great place of life equity for us. And we want to keep building into that as much as we can, because we recognize how important that is. And it's not only for our family. Everything that I've been building, I build for our family, but even more so for the next generations to come, so that they have something to learn from and to carry on as well. So that there's like a family thread that goes on through generations. I'm trying to create through everything we've created. So some people say, well, you know, is it really worth it, Nelson, this whole lifestyle by design thing? Well, I mean, that's really up to you. I've chosen to design the life that I want, and I continue to every single day build that life that I want every single day. But, you know, let's hear from some other people if really it's working for them. So Patrick, the fine young man who's emceeing tonight and doing an outstanding job doing it, he bought 11 properties, or will have 11 properties by the end of next month, a portfolio value of 2.5 million. Patrick, I can't remember how old you are. You're 20 what?
27.
27. Okay, he had to make sure there. He wasn't 100% certain. But how many people do you think there are that are worth 2.5 million in their portfolio by the time they're 27? Not many. I'll answer that for you. There aren't many. It does happen, but not often. And it didn't happen because he got lucky. It happened because he decided to create a life that he wants. He's putting life equity into his future with the investments he's making right now, right? And Patrick's chosen vehicle towards the wealth that he's wanted is a specific, orchestrated, planned, and designed course of action that he wanted through BRRRR buy and hold single families in specific neighborhoods. He knows exactly what he's doing to create the lifestyle that he wants. So he does have the income every year in addition to a generous teacher salary. And, you know, not everybody might agree with me that teacher salaries are generous. I'll give myself the permission to say that because I was a teacher and I always thought I was making a great amount of money. I never once complained about what I made. I was always very happy and considered myself blessed and fortunate to take home a paycheck every month and enjoyed what I did. But in addition to that, he's created $3,200 of cash flow a month. And for those that don't know what cash flow means, that means pure profit. After absolutely every expense is paid on your properties, you're still keeping that money. So Patrick knows what his number is because he's a super smart guy. So he knows what his financial independence number is, where he can say, okay, well, if I wanted to stop working tomorrow, I wouldn't have to. And that's kind of my definition of financial independence, is when all your life needs are met completely without needing the job. But guess what happens, folks, when you do back off from the job? Well, you've got 2,000 or even 2,500 hours of free time that opens up. And when you're really good like Patrick at buying houses, and all of a sudden you have an extra 2,500 hours a year you can invest, guess what happens to your level of success that you've already created on a small scale in your free time as a side hustle? It explodes, because you've given it a further investment in something that's working. So sorry to Patrick to put you on the spot tonight, but I just love talking about the success that people have that are designing the lifestyle they want. This book is inspired by people that are doing that. Here's Tony. We talked about him a little bit earlier tonight too. Tony and Lotus and their beautiful family. He's a successful mortgage broker. He's the creator of the Velas Maneuver. If you don't know what it is and you want to hear about the Velas Maneuver, ask Tony, ask me. I'd be happy to help you know a bit more about what the Velas Maneuver is. He was a successful restaurant owner for many years. He's Greek, and he'll be the first one to brag on the amazing quality of the Greek in terms of operating restaurants and the quality of food that they have. He's just an amazing guy. And he's mastered the live-in flip method. So I don't know if you remember from the slide earlier today, they got paid, and he's okay with me sharing this with you, about $120,000 of tax-free money. Now let's just think about that for one moment. $120,000 of tax-free money. Let's just say, for math's sake, to make it real simple, that you have to make twice that much in earned money at a job because of taxes, right? And deductions and everything. He would have had to make $240,000 while working at a job to make that. That takes a little bit of time to earn $240,000 at a job. It really does. But did he have to work to earn that money or to get that money? No, he didn't work. He just raised his family in the home, because he's smart and he has a specific plan for what he's doing. And that's in addition to the rest of the income that he's making. You might say, well, Nelson, if he sells his house, he's got to live somewhere. Of course. He's living in the house that we showed in the slides a little bit earlier, the one that was all damaged, that he's improved, that he's fixed up, and that he's moved into. Well, guess what he's going to do next time, guys? The same thing, until he finds the home that he's ready to plant in for an extended period of time with his lovely family. So Tony has mastered live-in flips among many other things. He's an amazing guy, an entrepreneur, a real estate investor. He owns many rental properties. He's been successful by designing the life that he wanted. Why don't we ask Shaston? Some of you might know her. She's my friend. She's a successful real estate investor in Brandon. She just retired. She gave her notice to her job. She's been in the military for many years, and she retired from her job. She has 7 doors, fully furnished, high quality luxury rentals, and she hit her number. And when I say the number, that's the number she needed, that she didn't need to continue working her job. So she's put aside her job now, and she took a position as an executive director of a nonprofit Christian organization, because that was her dream of being able to invest all of her time in building this. And that was important to her. And you might say, well, I wouldn't do that. That's fine, because that's not the lifestyle you want to design. That's what the book is about designing the lifestyle you want. And she has created that through her choices and decisions. Now, she's not done with real estate. And I don't think I've ever seen anyone that I've worked with say, you know, I did great with that one deal. I made money. I got a good investment. I'm really happy with it, but I don't think I'll ever do another one. Nobody ever says that. They have a successful deal and they want to do another one. So, you know, ask Shaston if the lifestyle by design model is working for her. Ask Ray and Ruth Ray Penner Photography, we talked about him earlier as a sponsor. They went and lived in Costa Rica. They bought 4 doors, and with the income that was coming, they moved to Costa Rica for the winter. Why not? That's what they wanted to do. Ruth was able to continue. They don't have children. Ruth was able to continue, you know, working her online coaching business while she was there. Ray's a photographer. He can take pictures anywhere. And my goodness, did he get some nice pictures while he was in Costa Rica. But that was what they wanted to design. And they chose to do it. So, you know, ask anybody if they're designing the life that they want. Why don't we ask Justin and Jeremy? We talked about them a little bit earlier tonight. In the last year, they've bought 1.4 million in assets. And they're making 110,000 a year in equity gains, and they're making 32,000 annually in cash flow. Once again, that's pretty close to $3,000 a month of pure profit in 1 year. Guys, when I started in real estate, do you know what I did in 1 year? My first year of real estate? I bought 1 triplex. And I put my money into the deal because I had no idea what I was doing. I had nobody to help me, nobody to guide me, no books, no events like this, no mentor I could call assistance on or anything. These guys did 1.4 million in their first year with none of their own money, not a dollar of their own money. And let's remember, when you say, oh, they can't do it without any of their own money. They did do it without any of their own money. They used partners for short-term money. And every time they took a partner, they're helping create that partner's lifestyle as well. They're funding their partner's lifestyle, who's buying a house with that income, or paying a car with that income, or going on a trip with that income, or buying an outfit for their little girl in dance class with that income. So the partnerships they're creating are in turn helping others as well. And that's what Lifestyle by Design is all about. It's not about just your success. It's about your role in helping other people's success as well. And finally, let's ask Josh. Josh is in the book. If you want to really do some case studies, the book has some great case studies about all kinds of different business models that succeed. So Josh was this great kid. He came into my neighborhood. I'll tell you the story really quick. He came into my neighborhood one day, had a nice little shirt on, you know, and he had his aerator. And for those of you that don't know what an aerator is, it's a device that looks similar to this one here. And it puts holes in the ground, right? You roll and it pulls out these plugs of dirt so that water and air can penetrate down into the lawn. And apparently it makes your lawn look a lot better. So that's what he was doing. And so I had a chat with this kid because I love young entrepreneurs. And you know, he was in early 20s, maybe 21 at the time, 20, I don't even know. And I said, what are you doing? He's like, well, I'm doing aerations. I rented this machine and I'm doing aerations. I said, great. How much is it? He said, $60 cash. I said, okay, can you do my lawn, please? That was the extent of our business contract. It happened pretty quick. And when he was done, I went out, I gave him a bottle of water and I said, hey, you did a great job. Thanks so much, Josh. Really appreciated it. Paid him. And I said, so that didn't take you too long though. And he's like, no, I do about 2 of these an hour. And I could see already he was starting to think in his mind about business. And I thought, let me help this kid a little bit. And so I'm like, so you're doing 2 an hour. So how much are you making an hour right now? And he's like, well, last year I did it as an employee and I thought I can do this on my own. So I'm doing it on my own. And I guess I'm making about $120 an hour. I'm like, Josh, you can't be making it $120 an hour. Nobody makes $120 an hour. He's like, well, I know, but I'm working hard. And I'm like, you sure are. Good for you. And I said, well, let's unpack that, Josh. How many hours are you going to work today? And he's like, well, I'm working 10 hours, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. as long as the sun's up. And I said, so in a day, how much are you going to make again, Josh? And he's like, well, I'm hoping to make $1,200 today. And he's like, why are you asking me all this? And I'm like, don't worry, I'm not a weirdo. I'm a teacher and I'm a business coach. I like I like people succeeding and I love your business model that you're growing. And I said, so you're making $1,200. Do you know that some people only make that in a month and you're making that in a day? And I'm like, do you prefer this to the $20 an hour that you were making last year? And he's like, oh yeah. And I told him, I said, Josh, what if you had 7 guys working for you and you paid each of them $20 an hour? And then he stopped for a minute and I could see him thinking. And it was at that moment, he came back the next year, he put together a business model and he had a trailer with 8 different aerators, and he dropped one of his buddies off in our neighborhood who just kept doing lawn after lawn after lawn. One of his friends from university paid him 20 bucks an hour, went and dropped off all of his other friends in different neighborhoods. They were all working sun up to sundown, and he's paying them all $20 an hour, and they were very happy. You know, they were only making $12 an hour at a restaurant job. So Josh, not only was he doing well, but at that point he was making about $840 an hour because he scaled his business to something that he could manage. He had 7 guys working plus himself. If you want to see the numbers, you're welcome to take a look in the book. All the numbers are there. It unpacks it in more detail of what his particular business model was. But you can adapt this in your life to anything you want it to be. And he learned very quickly how important it is to help people have jobs, to help encourage them in the business, and to help people. You know what? Everybody was outside in their house coats waving around 60 bucks in my neighborhood after he was done on my yard. His marketing was the sound of the motor. He didn't have a muffler on that thing at all. He wanted the whole neighborhood to know he was there. Everybody was happy to pay to get their lawn done. So the moral of the story, guys, is there's an opportunity in just about anything if you want to design it for yourself, just like Josh did. And I never saw him this year. I don't know where he ended up. I encouraged him to start a franchise and take it to another level with what he was doing. Because at this point, he was only having to work 3 months a year, and he was making, you know, well over $100,000 in 3 months because he designed this type of model. So if any of you, and I can't talk, I don't want to talk all evening, and I could go on about my book, but I do want to give you guys an opportunity to get the book. If this resonates with you, if there's some things in here that you want to know more about, you want to read the book, I would be honored if you take the opportunity to buy it. I certainly don't have my income coming from books. My income comes from other sources of investment. I write books for everybody who wants to read them. I write books so that I can reach more people than I could in just a webinar like this. I write books because I want to see people's lives changed by choices that they make. So if you want to read it, I encourage you to go to Amazon, pick up a copy. It's still in pre-release, so you may not be able to. I think it takes a few days to open up. The official date, I think it's July 7th is the official release date. But in pre-release, you can go ahead and buy it as well. And I want to do some giveaways to anybody who's here tonight who's interested in some of these giveaways. And I hope that's okay with you if you guys get some free stuff out of it. I know everybody likes free stuff. That's just the way it goes, especially in Winnipeg. Everybody here seems to get all excited when there's freebies that are being given away. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to get a whole bunch of Amazon gift cards for $100. And, some of them I'm going to give away. I do this regularly. I'll give away to people in the street. Walmart gift cards I use often, or mall gift cards I give to people in the street. But I'm going to get some Amazon gift cards specifically for this. And we're going to do a draw. I'm going to do it online with one of those randomizers. And, I want to give you a $100 gift card. Right? Your name's going to go in for a draw for an Amazon gift card. Everybody knows how to use Amazon after this last year. I'm quite confident in that. I also want to give you guys an opportunity to get a free copy of this. An actual hard copy of this book. I have some copies here that I've ordered, and I want to give you one for free. If you buy Lifestyle by Design, I'm going to give you this book for free as well. It's worth 25 bucks. That in itself is going to give you a huge amount of value. You're getting 2 books. Guys, readers are leaders. And if you're not a reader, take the time to learn to read, to get into a book. And I like online books. I really do, but I really love it when I can scribble in a book. If you look, I can't show you my library right now, but if you look through my books, you'll see notes and highlighters and scribbling and ideas and drawings and all kinds of things, stickers, because I love going through books. Another giveaway I want to give you guys here is the Dream Planner Blueprint, because I feel people need a place to start. So if you want the blueprint, I think it's about 12 pages. I'm going to give it to you for free. You can have this blueprint, start writing out inside it, and it walks you through all the steps in there. And I have a whole bunch of other print giveaways that I'd be happy to give you as well, but this is a great place to start. It's a Dream Planner Blueprint that will help you design the life that you want, and where to start and where to end. And you can go through it and win with it. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do is to order a copy. and I said the next 24 hours here, but Amazon takes their time in publishing, so it's not within the next 24 hours. Give the book a 5-star review. And that's the part that I'm doing a little bit greedy for myself, because as an author, it really helps the book have more visibility online. If you give it a 5-star review and a great testimony, I'd really appreciate that. And then I want you to take a picture. Take a picture of maybe, you know, there's a section in the book that really resonated with you. There was a table in the book. There was a quote. Take a picture of it, put it on social media, tag me in the book, because I can't reach everybody with this message, but the more people that help me, you guys can with everybody that you know. And that's the point of writing the book, is helping more people. So if you can do that for me, tag somebody. I'm going to give you those 3 giveaways. And here's what you can tag me at. Take a screenshot of this if you want to take a quick screenshot, or if you want to take a photo of this to remember the steps. And I'm going to give you the free book, a draw for an Amazon gift card, and the free dream blueprint planner, so that you can plan that dream that you want for your life. And I want to hear about what you think about the book when you read it. And I want your story to be a story just like Josh's, or Shaston's, or Patrick's, or Justin and Jeremy's. On the website, you can actually click, put a picture, and tell your story, because that story is going to breed more success in somebody else and inspire somebody else. This is a movement I want to create. And I think after this last year, people realize more and more, you need to find security in something you create yourself. That's where a lot of security is going to come from now, is what you create for yourself, not just a job. I think a lot of people realized really quickly that there wasn't much security in jobs. So I want to encourage you to do that. Once again, this is what I want to offer you. The book Lifestyle by Design. I'm going to have a lot of other webinars and podcasts I've been invited to in the next little while. I hope you guys can join me on that. But thank you so much for inviting me to speak on this tonight. It makes me very happy to know that this book is going to be coming out and hopefully touching a lot of people's lives. So in the meantime, I don't know, Keith, if we put some time, or Patrick, if we put time aside for question and answers, or if we want to do that later. I wasn't sure what we were going to do here.
I was going to say, if people have questions for Nelson, we can certainly take them right at the moment if you want to. We had one question that was up in the question and answer section, which you have already addressed. Brendan was asking where we can support and go to buy the book, and you've answered that question. So that's what we had in the Q&A. And I have another question from Alex and Anita here asking if there is an ebook version of the book. So like a Kindle version or something like that.
Yep, to answer that question, the Kindle version is just in the final stages of being approved. Without getting into the details of how it works with the publishing format, it's in the final details, the last 72 hours of just the formatting and everything. So it'll be available in every format: Kobo, Kindle, PDF, all of the different formats will be available online. The only thing that's not ready yet is the audiobook. That'll probably be another 60 days for the audiobook.
So you're also doing an audiobook. You're going to be on Audible then?
Yes.
Excellent. First one.
It will be the first one that's an audiobook. Yes.
We also have
You're
a question
narrating
here.
it, remember, Keith?
Sorry?
You're going to be narrating it, remember?
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah. Ryan Roper asks, what advice do you provide to someone who wants to pursue real estate investing but haven't made the jump?
Well, I think the most important part is to recognize, and I know I'm speaking to a group of people that are interested in real estate here. I personally believe real estate is the best asset class and the best overall vehicle towards creating income, towards creating net worth gains and equity. But there's a lot of other great business opportunities out there. And Lifestyle by Design isn't strictly about real estate. You know, there's one section that's written about someone who strictly does online work. That's all that she does. And if you want to learn more about her and how she monetizes through online work, her story might resonate with you as being a YouTuber. If you want to learn more about Josh's story, that might resonate more with you, what he's doing. my opinion would be if somebody wants to start in real estate is to go from stage number one and figure out, first of all, what type of real estate do you want to invest in and why? And do you want to flip? Do you want buy and hold? It all starts with your end game, right? And once you know what your end game is, you reverse engineer everything and backtrack it to figure out what are my daily habits that I need to do right now to get to that end game. I decided quite a while ago I wanted to learn Spanish. So what I did is I created a habit, and I've done 798 days in a row now, without exception, of doing a Spanish lesson. It doesn't matter what day it is. It doesn't matter if it's Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, if I'm in Mexico, if I'm sick. It doesn't, well, I don't get sick, but it doesn't matter what happens. I do my Spanish lesson without exception, because I said, if I'm going to learn Spanish, I'm going to have a habit that goes along with it. And so the same thing with real estate. Once you know what you want, or any type of business, and you break it down into habits, it will happen. Just like Bob Proctor talked about, consistency and knowing it's going to happen, it will take place.
Thanks, Nelson. Vern, you have your hand up. Did you want to ask a question? No. Okay. That was an accidental hand up. Okay, great. Well, that's it for the questions that I see here in the chat and the Q&A. So now we'll flip it back over to Patrick. So let me just share the screen there. All right. Take it away, Patrick.
Awesome. So here we're going to talk about why do some people win and some don't. Well, we're looking at what are some common themes or abilities that these people who win have in common. Well, one, they're all hustling. They have a commitment to success, kind of like Proctor mentioned there, where once you make that decision to be committed, then not having success is not an option. They consistently take action. So it's not just something they do when they feel like it. They're doing this day in and day out. And they invest in education. Slide there, Keith.
Sorry, my finger slipped there.
Yeah, so here with Team-Aid Real Estate Academy, we do have the 3 levels of memberships. And like we mentioned in the beginning, silver is kind of like your bachelor's degree. Gold will be, let's say, your master's degree in real estate. And then platinum is really your PhD, is where you're taking things really to the next level. And the great thing with all of these memberships is that you do get your assigned coach, and also you have access to our networking events that happen every month of the year. We have in-field training, which I think offers the most value. And here we'll be looking at like, what exactly will you learn with our coaching and our course? Well, you'll find out how to find a deal, how to find the money for the deal. Maybe you don't want to use your own money, like some of our student successes this month. How to negotiate the price, how to write your own offers so that you're not reliant, let's say, on a realtor to write offers for you. How to get the money, how to manage your renovations, how to manage the business of being a landlord, because being a real estate investor and landlord is a business. How to sell it, just selling your homes. How to refinance your home, how to do a joint venture. And what's awesome is with our courses, it does come with your pre-made lawyer-approved documents if you choose to go gold membership and up. You'll learn how to open an opco, how to open a holding co, how to minimize your taxes, which is one of my favorite things, I'm a big tax nerd, how to maximize your leverage, and even how to retire from your job. So we often get asked this question, does it cost money? Will I have to do any work? Will I have to get out of my comfort zone? And will I get my first deal done? And the answer to all that is yes, absolutely. It will cost some money, just like post-secondary schooling. You will have to go to work. You will have to do work and put in the work, again, just like if you're going to go to school. you'll have to get out of your comfort zone, because Nelson knows this because he's a teacher. Maybe some other people out there watching as well, that learning does happen outside the comfort zone. So luckily you will have a coach with you to guide you outside your comfort zone. And of course, as long as you continue to work with us, you will get that first deal done. So here we want to kind of show you that you can take action starting right now. If you can just put in 1 hour a day to work on real estate, that's about a day a week. That's only about 4 days a month. That's only about 52 days in a year. And what you can really do is try and go look at one property a week. It's summer now, so there's going to be hopefully some open houses will come back. You can try and make one offer a month, and then hopefully do one deal in the next year. So we actually have this new course coming out just for people that are a little bit more individual learners, and it's our Residential Investing Secrets Online. It is $2,995 plus taxes. And here, these are interactive lessons. It is web-based, so you can learn it from home, on your lunch breaks at the office, or anywhere really, as long as you have access to a device. And here you can start learning about real estate. And there is that interactive piece where you'll be learning and trying to put your knowledge to use after each training module. It's very easy to use with our interface, and it does have built-in accountability so that you're actually using what you learn in the real world. And we also have our new course as well, which is in its beta version. And this is for the commercial investing secrets. And we collected one of our coaches, Chris McKenzie's career, and he put together a real estate course for specifically commercial real estate. And now it's in its beta release. So it should come its full release coming in later of 2021. Now, again, we do encourage you to take some action, and hopefully you do decide to book a strategy session with any of the coaches here with us today. You can book a session with Keith himself, Vern is there as well, and Vishal. Yeah, Valen, Nelson, Michael, Chris, and then of course myself. So what's next? So you want to remember your plan. Again, Nelson kind of talked about creating your plan, building that lifestyle that you want to design, and try to learn something new each day. Make the decision to take real estate and your future and your finances seriously. Make that decision. Book your strategy session if you're so inclined, and make sure to attend the next meeting, which is going to be on July 26th. That's the last Monday of the month, where we'll be talking about RRSP and TFSA private mortgages. So it's going to be super interesting, a little bit more creative investment styles that we'll learn about next month. So what's next? Here are the results. These are some of our students and coaches all gathered there together. Again, this is before COVID, of course, and I'm looking forward to being able to be together in a room like this with everyone and really connect the minds and exchange ideas and do a little bit of network, get to know everyone else. This is for Vern. Vern, did you want to explain the specialty this Saturday?
Well, sure. We started this, about a year ago, I guess. Vishal and I started the Bird 2-for-1 Coach Mentor Team. And we do a workshop every Tuesday night, 8 p.m., and every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. And they're open to anybody who wants to come. Tomorrow night, our topic of the day is in relation to what we did tonight, and it's raising capital for the lifestyle design that you desire. That's what we're talking about tomorrow night. Saturday, we do a different topic every Tuesday, every Saturday, and those in attendance will give us a topic for our next meeting. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Vern. I guess we got a moment here for, maybe any other questions maybe we haven't answered for you guys. We'll leave all the contact info here for all our coaches.
You have any questions and you don't want to raise your hand and say it out loud, feel free to type it in the chat box or the Q&A box. and we'll get right on that. At this time, I wanted to say a special thank you to Nelson for taking the time, not just to talk to us tonight, but for taking the time to put all of this down in print, in the written form, leaving a legacy for after you've gone. Not to get very philosophical about it, but I mean, really, it is a message for the ages. So thank you for sharing all that knowledge and wisdom with all of us.
Thanks, Keith. My pleasure. And I was really happy to chat about the book and opportunity to see everybody virtually tonight, but fingers crossed that pretty soon we'll be able to get together in person.
So we did have a question. Do we have members in BC? Good question. Well, we have a coach in Alberta. I'm certain that there are some students who are out in BC.
Yes,
Michelle, did you want to speak to that, or Vern?
we have students in our group in BC, Alberta, Ontario, and 3 different states.
Okay, excellent. And Benjamin just says, thank you to everyone for presenting. Very informative and helpful as he gets started on his real estate journey.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess if that's everything, Patrick, why don't you say goodnight for everyone?
So, well, thanks for joining us, everybody, and hope you guys have an awesome evening. And of course, make sure to take action and use what you learned today. See y'all.